Hello children, today we'll read a poem named Alexander Selkirk by William Cowper. Now, let us know about the poet. William Cowper was an 18th century English poet. Alexander Selkirk is one of his well-known poems where the poet reflects the freedom of the spirit of Alexander Selkirk in a lonely island. So, let us know about Selkirk. Alexander Selkirk, a Scottish seaman who survived after shipwreck and left alone in a lonely island in the southern part of Pacific Ocean. He remained there for 4 years and 4 months. It was an uninhabited island. He was hopeful that one day he would go back to his homeland. Now you can see the picture. Alexander Selkirk, a marooned sailor, is sitting in the island and thinking a lot about his situation. Now these tragic circumstances, this sadful incident, and the positive attitude of Selkirk that he wanted to survive in that island gave inspiration to a novelist like Daniel Defoe to write the classic book Robinson Crusoe. So Daniel Defoe wrote a book named Robinson Crusoe, and he was very much inspired by Cowper's poem Alexander Selkirk. Children, please listen to the poem, and when you listen to the poem, you should close your eyes and listen to the poem. Alexander Selkirk, I am monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute. From the centre all round to the sea, I am lord of the fowl and the brute. O solitude, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Better dwell in the midst of alarms than reign in this horrible place. I am out of humanity's reach. I must finish my journey alone. Never hear the sweet music of speech. I start at the sound of my own. The beasts that roam over the plain, my form with indifferent see. They are so unacquainted with man. Their tameness is shocking to me. Society, friendship, and love, divinely bestowed upon man. Oh, had I the wings of a dove, how soon would I taste you again? My sorrows I then might assuage. In the ways of religion and truth, might learn from the wisdom of age, and be cheered by the sallies of youth. You winds that have made me your sport, convey to this desolate shore some cordial endearing report of a land I shall visit no more. My friends, do they now and then send a wish or a thought after me? Oh, tell me, I yet have a friend, though a friend I am never to see. How fleet is a glance of the mind, compared with the speed of its flight. The tempest itself lags behind, and the swift-winged arrows of light. When I think of my own native land, in a moment I seem to be there, but alas, recollection at hand soon hurries me back to despair. But the sea-fowl is gone to her nest, the beast is laid down in his lair. Even here is a season of rest, and I to my cabin repair. There is mercy in every place, and mercy, encouraging thought, gives even affliction a grace and reconciles man to his lot. Children, you have listened to the poem. Now you are to see the poem in the screen, and you can observe how the poet has written this poem on Alexander Selkirk, and then we'll discuss about the poem later. Alexander Selkirk I am monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute. From the center all round to the sea, I am lord of the fowl and the brute. O solitude, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Better dwell in the midst of alarms than reign in this horrible place. I am out of humanity's reach. I must finish my journey alone, never hear the sweet music of speech. I start at the sound of my own. The beasts that roam over the plain, my form with indifferent see, they are so unacquainted with man, their tameness is shocking to me. Society, friendship, and love, divinely bestowed upon men. Oh, had I the wings of a dove, how soon would I taste you again? My sorrows I then might assuage. In the ways of religion and truth, might learn from the wisdom of age, and be cheered by the sallies of youth. You winds that have made me your sport, convey to this desolate shore some cordial endearing report of a land I shall visit no more. My friends, do they now and then send a wish or a thought after me? Oh, tell me, I yet have a friend, though a friend I am never to see. How fleet is the glance of the mind compared with the speed of its flight. The tempest itself lags behind, and the swift-winged arrows of light. When I think of my own native land, in a moment I seem to be there, but alas, recollection at hand soon hurries me back to despair. But the sea fowl is gone to her nest, the beast is laid down in the lair, even here is a season of rest, and I to my cabin repair. There is mercy in every place, and mercy encouraging thought gives even affliction a grace, and reconciles man to his lot. Children, you have heard the poem, and now you are to go stanza by stanza. Today we will deal with 3 stanzas, first 3 stanzas. Now the first one, stanza 1. I am monarch of all I survey. I am monarch. You see, M is in capital letter. There is an emphasis. I am monarch. Alexander Selkirk says, I am monarch of all I survey. I am the ruler here. Whatever I see before my eyes, I feel that I am the ruler. I am the king. My right there is none to dispute. My right, my authority, my power, there is nobody to oppose me. My right there is none to dispute. From the center all round to the sea, I am standing here in this island, in the center of this island, and all around me there is the ocean, there is the sea, and I am lord of the fowl and the brute, and I feel I am all in all, and I am the master of the fowl, of the birds, and the brute animals. That sages have seen in thy face, O solitude, where are the charms? Then he is addressing the solitude. He is addressing the solitude in the manner that he is alone in that island. And here solitude is personified, and solitude behaves like a person, and therefore he is addressing the solitude. And he asks solitude, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Sages have told that they find pleasure in your place. They find pleasure in loneliness. But I don't find pleasure in loneliness. I find much pain. And, O solitude, where are the charms that sages have seen in thy face? Better dwell in the midst of alarm. So I feel I should rather dwell, means live, in the midst of alarm, in the society where there is noise. Here I find it is silence over here. Solitude, loneliness, silence, they are all synonymous. Better dwell in the midst of alarm. Therefore, Alexander Selkirk says that he should dwell in the midst of alarm. better dwell, better live in the midst of noisy place than to rule here in this terrible place, horrible place, terrible place. So I think you have understood it. Now, let us think about the points of the previous stanza. I am the monarch of all I survey. Now, Alexander Selkirk is in the situation where there is loneliness, and he feels that he is the lord of animals and birds. And he questions about the sages telling that there is pleasure in solitude. And he tells that it is better to live in the society than to live in this terrible place. Children, we will go for the second stanza. I am out of humanity's reach. I must finish my journey alone. Selkirk feels that he is out of humanity's reach. No human being can reach him. He is far away from the society. I must finish my journey alone, and I have to finish my journey of life alone in this island. Never hear the sweet music of speech. I am unfortunate. I cannot hear the sweet music of speech. I cannot hear the sweet voices of human beings here. I start at the sound of my own. I am shocked to listen to the voice of mine. I only listen to my voice. I do not listen to any human being. The beasts that roam over the plain, and I find that beasts are there wandering over the plain, in the land, in the island. My form with indifference see. They look at me with indifference. They are so unacquainted with men. Now these beasts and birds, they are not familiar with human beings, because no human being came to this island. I am for the first time coming to this island, and so they are showing their indifference to me, and their tameness is shocking to me. They are domestic by their nature, and therefore I am very much wondering how tame they are, how domestic they are. They behave casually with me. Now, so in this stanza, you find that Selkirk passes his time alone, and he listens to his own voice, and he finds the indifference of the animals and birds. And he also wonders about the domestic behavior of the animals. Now let us go for the third stanza. Society, friendship, and love divinely bestowed upon men. Now these are the gifts of God. Society, friendship, and love. God has given all these gifts to human beings, divinely bestowed upon man. Man has got all these gifts from God. Man has got society where he lives in. He has the friendship, and he has the love. Now I am deprived of all these things now, Selkirk says. And he says, oh, had I the wings of a dove, I soon would I taste you again. Selkirk says that if he had the wings of a dove, he would go back to his homeland and enjoy all these things like society, friendship, and love. And by this, he could lessen his sorrow. He could make his sorrow less. My sorrows I then might assuage. I could make my sorrows less by going there to this society, had I the wings of a dove. But it is only his wish. It is only his imagination. If I had the wings of a dove, how soon would I taste you again? I would have gone to that homeland. But I'm unfortunate, I can't go. In the ways of religion and truth, if I would have gone to my own homeland, I could have enjoyed the religion. I could have got the truthful statements of human beings. I could have enjoyed a lot with human beings. And I could have enjoyed the company of elderly people, might learn from the wisdom of age. I could have learnt from the elderly people wisdom of age, the aged people having wisdom. And I could have passed my time with the company of youth, be cheered by the sallies of youth. So, here you find Selkirk talks about society, friendship, and love, and these are the best creation of God for human beings. So I have finished the stanza 3 where Selkirk tells about society, friendship, and love, and how they are the gifts of God. And if he had the wings, he could have flown to the society back, and he could have enjoyed the company of human beings. But he cannot go. And he could have enjoyed the company of human beings, and he could have gained knowledge. He could have learnt about religion and truth, and he could have mixed with the youth, but he is deprived of all such things. Now, children, I have analyzed the 3 stanzas, given you the meaning, and now let us go for question answer. Now, I have given some statements. From the poem, you are to ascertain which statement is correct and which statement is wrong. Say whether sentences below are true or false. The poem Alexander Selkirk is written by John Keats. I have shown you in the beginning that Alexander Selkirk is written by William Cowper. So, this is a wrong statement. This is false. Selkirk finds no human being in that island. This is true because Selkirk is alone there. He is left in that island. Selkirk finds the animals to be violent. You have heard me saying that animals were very tame. So they were not violent. So this is a false statement. Selkirk prefers to live in the midst of alarm. Now Selkirk wanted that. It was better for him to go to the society back than to live in that horrible place. So Selkirk prefers to live in the midst of alarm is a correct statement, true statement. Selkirk remembers his family and laments. And that is why he said, had I the wings of a dove, I could have flown to my family. So, Selkirk remembers his family and laments is true. Selkirk wanted a human being. Selkirk wanted a human being to give him company. Now, Selkirk really wanted somebody to give him company, but he could not get any human being. Selkirk likes the wisdom of age. Now, Selkirk wanted a human being to give him company is true. Selkirk likes the wisdom of age. That is also true. Sages did not like solitude. In fact, sages liked solitude. So, this is a false statement. Sages did not like solitude. Now, children, there is another question for you. Fill in the blanks with the right words. The poem Alexander Selkirk was written by, you can remember, William Cowper. The poem reflects the freedom of Selkirk spirit in an island. The poet says there is no one in that island to dispute. You can remember the summary. the poet compares the flight of death with the tempest. The poet compares the human mind with the tempest. Days are divine gifts of God. Society, friendship, and love are the divine gifts of God. Selkirk becomes unhappy to remember his death. Selkirk becomes unhappy to remember his kith and kin, to remember his homeland. The poet appeals the wind to bring death of his native place. The poet appeals the wind to bring news of his native place. The beasts on the island roam over the dash. The beasts on the island roam over the plain. So, children, you have studied 3 stanzas, and in these 3 stanzas, Selkirk tells about his loneliness, and then he tells about the behavior of the animals and birds, and then he tells about the society, friendship, and love. And in these 3 stanzas, he has tried very much to reflect that he is alone in that island and he longs for going back to his homeland. He wants very much to go back, but he is unfortunate. He cannot go back because he is living a lonely life. He is a marooned sailor. He is alone in that island. So long he will be there in that island, he has to make his journey alone, and nobody is there to accompany him. He finds the animals and birds, his friends, because of their tameness, because of their domestic nature, because the animals behave with him casually. That surprises Selkirk very much. And Selkirk thinks of going back to his land, but then he is very much surprised about the nature of animals. And Selkirk disagrees with the words of the sages. Sages tell that they have found pleasure in solitude, but Selkirk does not find pleasure in solitude. He finds acute pain, mental pain, because he is alone, suffering alone. Nobody is there to talk to him. He is living in solitude. He is having a very tragic life. He is suffering very much. He is suffering to the utmost. And if at all he will find solace, consolation, if any human being comes to him and rescue him, of course, he will be rescued later on. But then until then, he is suffering in that island. So children, if you have marked these 3 stanzas, you could find that there is a figure of speech used here. Oh, solitude. Solitude is personified here. Solitude behaves like a person. This is a figure of speech. In a poem, you will find a figure of speech like simile, metaphor, and personification. These are the figure of speech. And in these 3 stanzas, if you just think of the summary of these 3 stanzas, you can just take the theme that in the first stanza, Selkirk talks about his position in this island. And he tells that he is the monarch because he is ruling over the island as a human being. The animals do not become violent. And in the second stanza, you find that he finds his own voice echoing, and he tells about the nature of animals and birds, how they are behaving. And he finds that they are domestic, they are very tame, they do not become violent, they behave differently. So this surprises Selkirk very much. And in the third stanza, you find that Selkirk remembers the society where he was. He remembers his homeland. He wants to go back to his homeland. And therefore, he tells, "Oh, had I the wings of a dove, I could have gone back to my land, and I could have enjoyed the presence of my friends, the company of my friends, and I could have got their love, but I am deprived of all such thing." And here he imagines to be there. Although he is very much in that island, he feels that he could have lessened his pain by going back to his homeland. But how unfortunate he is that he cannot go back. He remembers the words of the elderly people, the wise words of elderly people, and he wants to go back and listen to them, but he cannot go. And he remembers about the youth, the loving youth and the playfulness of the youth, but he cannot go back and enjoy his time with the youth. This is his plight, and Selkirk is suffering from this very much. And this suffering acutely pains him, and he wants to go back to his homeland. And in the next three stanzas, you will find other elements and other themes which are brought in by the poet, and you can enjoy them very well in the next class. Thank you very much.